Okay, so I'm going to do some invites on here before I get started. So the last few videos I did, and I saved them to Instagram, they didn't save them. So I've been trying to figure out a way around that obstacle. But we got some good stuff to talk about because karma is at play. She's giving people what they earn, good, bad, or indifferent. She don't care. She balancing out the books according to the records that her sister Akasha gave her in order to ensure that everybody get what they rightfully earn without exception, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, I want to talk about the silent watchers in the background who always got something, always looking, but they don't want to contribute to the cause of waking up their brothers and sisters because they feel that they should get it on their own. But that goes against one core philosophy of ours, and that's each one teach one. The extension is each one teach one, that we all might reach some. Some of us have the influence to get a message to key critical people at key critical times in order to facilitate the raising of the matriarchs, but they sit on their hands and they watch the righteous toil and labor trying to make the ends connect in order that the circle is complete. Well, for those that stood by and didn't do nothing to help the righteous, and they didn't do nothing to help the wicked impede the righteous, they was just watchers. They can continue to be watchers. Those that look on at the people doing the dirt, talking about, that's a shame the way they did that, man, and going about their day as if nothing happened. It's a shame the way they did that woman and going on about their day as if nothing happened. If you don't understand a concept of unity is to assault one of us is to assault all of us. To murder one of us is to murder all of us because we all connected fundamentally on a spiritual level. But we connected through different links, which takes us to the next part, the bloodlines. The bloodlines have to be centralized. In order to centralize it, you have to have a central figure. And all roads pointed to fucking Rome. And the prophecy of Fatima was that the Pope would be at the feet of the crucifix and they will hurl bullets and arrows at him unto his death. Well, they about to tell y'all the Pope dead. He got 3 bullets mailed to him, and the mail that matched the prophecy of Fatima. Well, who in the fuck is Fatima? Well, depending on which school of thought you're coming from. You see, Fatima is a universal character in almost every religion. Many of them just call her Fatima. Some of them call her the daughter of the prophet. But Fatima is most notably known through the Catholic Church through a vision from 3 children in South America that's had a vision of Mother Mary. And they call her predictions to these children the prophecies, the 3 prophecies of Fatima, heralding the end times, as according to the Catholic Church. The final of the 3 was that the bullets would be hurled at the Pope and arrows. Well, now that the bullets went, now let's hurl some arrows. What the fuck do they mean, arrows? All roads lead to Rome mean all fingers point to the Pope. When you're driving down the street on a one-way, the arrow says this way, one way. So if all of the arrows is pointing to the papacy, from the church of the Occident, of the Protestant, of the clergy in the Catholic Church, then in the royal families around the world, all say they gain their authority from the Catholic Church. These arrows is pointing at that motherfucker fast and hard. And all of the bankers said that they hold in the accounts in the World Banks and International Monetary Fund at the behest of the Pope. Now, how in the fuck did he do this? By papal bull. Papal bull means the Father's bulletin or decree. And papal is father, being the root papa, and the L is added on to indicate rank or position. But the L is also a symbol in what you call mysticism and occult science. The L in its lowercase is either a I, it can be a capital I, or a lowercase I, but it's still an L. The L can be a elbow, being a 45-degree angle. And that 45-degree angle was always a right angle. Why is that? Because when you flip it, you on a swastika flip, it becomes a 7. Now, once all 4 of them is in play, you make what they call fan wheels. Now, I'm decoding top secret motherfucking mystic shit to y'all right now. Hopefully I can save this fucking video. So, Fatima being tied through the papal church to the seat of the papacy, but the real seat is unoccupied and suspended in the air, that no man sit in the seat of the Queen in heaven and earth, and the Pope's seat is just underneath her seat. And this is where he sit in the Catholic Church. Now, from his seat that's under her seat, he declared his case under the first papal decree that he is the closest living man to God. The Black Madonna, whose seat he sit beneath. Who in the fuck is the Black Madonna, and where is she located, and what do that got to do with this motherfucker behind the curtain? That's the $1 million question. Well, it kind of worked like this. There's a story called The Wizard of Oz. And a house fell on top of a witch with ruby red slippers. In the house was a sleeping little girl and her dog, Toto. Now, Toto is a wordplay. It also means 2 things. Tutu, which means mirror, reflect, mirror, which makes it a zigzag flip to see it clearer. So off the dog flip, it began to come in clearer that Dorothy ain't Dorothy. Dorothy is the boy and not the girl who has the dream that they call the nightmare. But it's the waking dream that's the nightmare, because the dreams in the night are pleasant. It's the misery and suffering of the world that reveals that the waking dream is the current 3D fixed position reality that we call the now earth. Right? From this position, you begin to see that the Wizard of Oz takes on a whole new meaning. Now, who was this woman, this witch with the ruby red slippers that the house land on, and what do the house represents? The house represents the home, because a house is not a home if there's no one living there. But since Dorothy was living there, we know that it wasn't a house that fell on this woman with these ruby red slippers. It was a home. And if there's a home there, it has to be a family involved, because home is where the heart is, and home is where the family congregate. And the heart of the home is the kitchen. And in the kitchen, you find mama cooking up soul food to feed the souls of the children. This is the old lady that lived in the shoe who had so many children she didn't know what to do. And everybody passed her by and said, look at the old lady in the shoe. But none of them lift a hand to help her do the shit that she do. She was taking in the orphans and doing the righteous work. They call it the Great Arcana. So she built temples with every child she touched. Because in order for her to have so many children that she don't know what to do in this big ass shoe, then it would have to tell you that this shoe is actually a boot. And the boot is an L. And the L is Louisiana. On the left flip points to the 7, which is the finish line, which is Florida. Florida panhandle makes the number 7. But it's also a pistol grip. Because these women are shooters. But it's a sniper team, so mean they got a spotter and a shooter. So one of them calibrate the conditions and the other one pulls the trigger. Being that the sniper team of 2 is a team that shoot from the blinds, meaning that the one that's calibrating is the operator. The one that's shooting is the cat's paw. He's the handler, or the one being handled makes him the handle. That's the number 7. That's me, number 7. And G is the 7th letter made. And Sunday is definitely not the 7th day. Because the 7th day is the Sabbath day, and the Sabbath day is Saturday. All of the rest of the world know that, but y'all church people not paying attention. Because it was a papal bull that changed the Sabbath to a Sunday. The Sunday is the day of the sun, a day of celebration for the children, and for the parents to begin the preparation for the work week ahead. Remember, they worked 6 days, not 5. So if you get the shit right, you will understand that the 6 days was indicative of a job. And a job is sometimes pronounced Job when you're talking to Christian people. And Job is the one who suffered the sacrifices of God to the devil in order to redeem the righteous from the grips of the wicked. But Job wasn't going to complain about it. He was just going to go into the dark night of the soul and transform himself so that he can come out and receive the abundance that God promised him if he can motherfucker stand the weather. Job was a bad motherfucker because what you don't realize is Daniel means the judgment of God. In the book of Daniel, Daniel is telling motherfucking Nebuchadnezzar about a dream, a nightmare, in which he was going to be eaten with the motherfucking beasts of the field. Right? But now when you go to the book of Job, it's in the book of Job, when they say the beasts put on sackcloth and covered themselves with coal as they repent for their transgression. Now, first of all, if this motherfucking Nebuchadnezzar was the king and he thought he was one of the beasts of the field, that means in his mind he didn't see no separation between him and them savages that he roamed among that called themselves the flock, the beast of the field. Now, what the fuck is a beast? Right? Now, in the book of Revelations, it tells you that the number of the beast is the number of a man. So a man, age of majority is 18. No, it's 21. And 21 is 3 sevens. So that man would have to be born as a 7 son, seed of a 7 seed of a 7th seed. As Rakim say, he was born with 3 sevens in his head. Right? So that's a mother line 7 sisters flip off 7 sisters flip off 7 sisters to flip a son. This is zigzag zig, top of the line flip, master to master, matriarch to matriarch, in a roundabout in order to quarantine off the righteous queens, the matriarchs of the earth, the brides of the earth family, in order to keep out all of the rogue elements, those ravenous mastodons that try to bully their way through the elephants until the elephant herd forms the motherfucking wall. And the wall makes the circle. And they hook up tail to motherfucking nose. That way the circle remain unbroken. So when they doing the dirt that they doing, it can't penetrate because the outer circle is now become the inner circle. What was the 360 around the rim is now the 3.14 in the middle. And what's the 3.14? That's a 2-ball cane flip off the 2 sevens that flipped the 14 into a 5. This is a gangbanger flip off of a P-stone. Larry, the 21 brick, flip became G. So the cold brick is on the motherfucking GD line in the blue lodge now. Y'all motherfuckers ain't watching the long game. So when Larry flipped, the 7 became the L. And the L became the last, because the last got to be made first. So that means the Omega Wolf became the Zeta Wolf off the zigzag flip, because they all bumped him out of the picture, because he was the stone that the builder rejected. The folks didn't accept him because they knew he had motherfucking stone traits. But because he was a stone, he stayed true to the blue through the weather and the storm. But he identified with the P stone. And the P stone is the pussy stone. And the pussy stone is the pearl tongue. And the pearl is the mother's pearl. And the mother's pearl is the virgin daughter. And the virgin daughter is the Virgin Mary. And the Virgin Mary is the young maiden. And the young maiden is the maiden of the earth. And the maiden of the earth is the one who is the heir to sit in the seat of the queen of heaven and earth when she earned the ranking of high seat queen as chosen by the matriarchs of the earth. But in order to do that, she needed masculine in order to make sure that can't nobody get by it. But the thing they didn't tell y'all about Dorothy, when you go back to the book and you look at the original paintings, Dorothy used to carry a teddy bear everywhere she went. So the teddy bear becomes a clue for the boy who really was, they portrayed as a girl, as a means to disgrace and humiliate in order to draw the attention to the storyline, in order to follow the plot, because the plot thickens as we move from the alpha to the omega. And at the omega, we find Oz, the man behind the motherfucking curtain. Now, the man behind the motherfucking curtain is really a woman, because they thought that the woman was a man. But all the time, the man was a woman. How do you know? Because the curtain is the veil. And the only motherfucker behind the veil is Isis. So when Isis is unveiled, we unveil the queen of heaven and earth. It's just that simple. And in order for us to unveil the queen of heaven and earth, we had to have a motherfucking 50-50 flip. 50 sisters flip 50 niggas, and 50 niggas flip 50 sisters off a zigzag flip. But it's got to be one in the middle, because they playing cat's paw. Each one flip a clue, but they playing monkey in the middle to see what I do. Now I sit back and watch as the game be played, and I snatch every key as it come my way. I'm the baddest of the bad and the bravest of the brave, the coldest of the cold and the boldest of the bold. Mama say I'm something like a brass-ass monkey with too much nerve. But Pops think it's more like a red-head, left-hand monkey, something so rare motherfucker never see it. So when you put that shit together, you get a red-head, left-hand monkey flipping off of Mama right hand. So this is a monkey flip off a motherfucking team sport on the family redemption, because the family is the house that fell on the girl, and the girl was the innocent victim of the motherfucking torrents of nature. And the torrents of nature was a byproduct of the conjure, because when the close of the age come, anybody with the conjure creates a negative energy vortex that goes in the opposite direction, in the wrong spin. For the event to take place, it has to clear up all of the negative spin. So all of the righteous queens spin to the right, but all the wicked queens still flipping to the left. And then all of the ones flipping to the left got stuck because the wheel stopped spinning on the left spin. But there was some that still tried to spin left, and what they was doing is they were actually trying to restore the matriarchy, and they were being sabotaged by a chaos queen conjuring in the background in order to cause the disruption so that the sisters can never come together and link up on the psychic network through a I don't know what happened, but you can watch these motherfuckers now as they spit that shit up, because karma came to pay them, right? So now y'all know that the close of the age has been signaled by the prophecies being fulfilled off the prophecies of Fatima. And Fatima in Islam is the daughter of Muhammad. And they had to find her a righteous wife righteous husband, so they found Ali. So this is a mirror of what's taking place in the spirit realm being translated to what is going on the earth realm, right? So the sisters is seeing the chaos, but what they seeing is the chaos is the result of order being restored, as opposed to the resort. Instead of chaos breaking out, order is setting in. And in order for order to set in, chaos becomes isolated. And in the isolation, it creates a vortex like like water going down the drain. That energy vortex causes these negative energies to be drawn away from us. So now let's deal with hell. They told y'all that hell was hot and that we was originally in what you call a tropical climate. So we wasn't worried about heat per se. What they're not telling you when they tell you about hell is that hell is short for Helen. And Helen is a Blue Lodge flip, right? Because my Aunt Helen was Blue Lodge. And the Helen is the Greek fraternities. And the Greek fraternity, blue represents the Delta Blue, which Oprah was the queen mother of the Delta Blue. That's why she was absent at the 60th birthday of Obama. Now, I was trying to get pictures of her seat, but I haven't got them yet. But I'm going to get them because of the receipts. Because there was some calligraphy wrote on there, and she was conspicuous by her absence, right? Now, knowing that she's the queen of the Deltas, that means that she was predisposed somewhere else, because 60 is G-O. And G-O mean go, but she ain't there. That means the Deltas is already gone. And the Delta force is the force that came in on horseback. And those are the mayors on the congregation of the mayors. And now that the Delta force is ran its course, watch the Delta variant change in the news. Because the Delta variant was the public outcry from the ones that was holding power to their minions in the world to tell them that these matriarchs was making a move for power and that their time was limited. Now that the Delta variant has ran its course, in comes the elephants, what you call a different variant. They should call it something like the Sika variant or some shit. Something with an S or a Z, or a 2, because a 2 is a Z by imagery, by formation of the sign, right? From there, don't get caught up in people's philosophies. You got the truth written in your heart. Follow the truth. You're gonna make the right choice. That's what you have to do. Now, what you don't know is what you will discover over the next upcoming days as things that was hidden become exposed, because as Cassia pay out the wicked, they and suffering because they don't want to suffer what they inflicted on other people, because that shit done been sent back to them. From there, they have to suffer for their own dirt. Now, for the ones in the middle that was confused, y'all can continue to be confused, because y'all was the ones that they call in the Bible lukewarm. Y'all didn't choose a side between good and evil. Y'all tried to coast up the middle of the two, right? You're going to have to choose a side now. The side, you just going to be on the back burner until your time come, whenever that might be, according to your works and your deeds. Some of the ones in the middle was in the middle because they were supposed to be there. They wasn't supposed to pick a side, and they were supposed to work both sides from the middle. But that's a difficult task, and most people lose their way, and that's why that's taboo. It takes a strong mind to remain who you are while you go through what you go through in order to become what you're going to become. You can't allow your mind to be subdued by your emotions. Your intellect has to rule the emotions, because you will make a decision out of the emotion that will cause you to have a lifetime of regret, because your mind was subdued by the emotion. Your emotions is your navigation system. Your body is your avatar. It's actually your Merkaba. Mir means light, Ka means earth, and Ba means soul. The Merkaba is the vessel in which the soul uses to traverse the earth. And that's this earth, and that's these bodies. But the body is not us, because we are eternal. So now the eternal beings that's coming back as children get to learn from a childhood how to develop and control their self to get the greatest production out of each child in the most beneficial direction. For those who don't follow this path, they're going to end up lost, and they're going to have to find their own way in the darkness. But now we have educational systems being set up as I speak to re-educate these children according to the new ways. Yep, light body activation, Star David. Yep, it's also called the Star Life, which is actually, once your consciousness awake, you have a light ricochet of chakras. And as the light ricochet off the chakras and accelerate, it forms what you call the Star Life, and then it begins to flux. As it begins to flux, it forms another form. It's called the isosceles triangle, which is like a 21-side triangle. And that's in its 3D fixed position flux. So you become a physical body. While y'all talking about GMOs are being removed from the food source, because the people that was dependent upon GMOs to maintain their artificial matrix are not going to be here. So the chemicals they was putting in the food to adjust the people that don't belong here to make their body form match the earth enough to stay here for the period of time, then those are the ones that's going to be left to shrivel up somewhere, because they're not going to be able to sync with this new vibration of the new earth. Their mitochondrials will be slowly choked out by the love energy that's going to overwhelm the darkness in them and repel it. And the love energy is not going to participate in sustaining what is not beneficial to the collective, because now these sisters got it in their head, and they understand that as the survival of the species is to preserve the children first, because that's our future. And the only way to make sure they preserve the children first is to build a matriarchal wall of these motherfucking grand matriarchs, long tusk elephant motherfuckers around the kids, and turn loose the goddamn gorilla brigade that's been sitting on their back, sucking up the game in order to make sure that they learn how to be effective as a father. So this is where we at. And so, the karma is playing out in real time. As this karma play out, these sisters is posting the receipts in real time. This shit ain't no longer taking 2 and 3 and 4, 5 days to see. This shit damn near instant within a couple of hours. No. So where we at now is, where's a movie, we would say this is the end. That's all, folks. Looney Tunes. But since they call this shit real life, we on to the next phase of life. A next phase up on a different type of earth, with a different type of mindset, with different calibers of people. Don't cry for these motherfuckers that don't mean you no good, because they sure wasn't crying for you when you needed them. Right? And don't cry for the ones that stayed neutral and didn't offer a hand to help, because they was neutral we gonna keep that same energy. While they was neutral, we neutral. You know, some of them, while you was neutral, they was working against you. That's okay. They gonna get a just reward. It's all written down. It's all prophecy. It's all documented. This shit not a secret no more. The only people that's keeping it a secret now is, you know. So pay attention to what's going on, because this shit's about to go way down. Y'all about to see some shit. It's about to be reality check time, right? So since I done went through the sciences and touched on a little bit of this and a little bit of that and flipped out some major shit, maybe somebody can understand what's going on. So with that, I'm gonna leave y'all, and I'm gonna pick this back up when I'm required to do one again, and hopefully we can save this one. All right, so we out from here.